What an incredible night of football we just witnessed. The Denver Broncos have punched their ticket to the next round of the playoffs, but it came at a tremendous cost. They outlasted the Buffalo Bills in a nail-biting overtime thriller, winning 33-30 in a game that had everything a football fan could ask for. We saw massive momentum swings, critical mistakes, and heroic performances from both quarterbacks. But the celebration in Denver is bittersweet, as tragedy struck on the game's final plays. Let's break down this absolute roller coaster of a game. Right from the opening kickoff, you could feel the playoff intensity in the air. Denver started the scoring with a methodical drive, capped off by a 28-yard field goal to take an early 3-0 lead. But if you thought Josh Allen and the Bills would be rattled, you were mistaken. Allen came right back, marching Buffalo down the field and connecting with Mecole Hardman for a touchdown. Just like that, the Bills were up 7-3, and it felt like we were in for a classic quarterback duel. The Broncos' offense stalled on their next possession, forced to punt the ball away. This was Buffalo's chance to seize control of the game early. They were moving the ball well, but then disaster struck. A costly fumble gave the ball right back to Denver, with excellent field position. You just can't make those kinds of mistakes in the playoffs, especially not on the road. Nix and the Broncos' offense were determined to make them pay. Wasting no time, Nix found tight end Frank Crum in the end zone for a touchdown, and Denver reclaimed the lead, 10-7. The crowd in Denver went absolutely wild. The momentum had swung back in a huge way. But again, the Bills showed their resilience. They drove down the field themselves and managed to tie the game at 10-10 with a field goal. At this point, it was a true back-and-forth affair, with neither team able to pull away. It felt like whichever team made the next big play would take control heading into halftime. And that big play came from the Broncos. With time ticking down in the second quarter, Nix orchestrated another impressive drive, finding Lil Jordan Humphrey for a touchdown that put Denver back on top, 17-10. The stadium was electric, but the half wasn't over just yet. On Buffalo's ensuing possession, another turnover gave the ball back to Denver. It was a crushing blow for the Bills, and the Broncos capitalized, kicking another field goal as time expired to extend their halftime lead to 20-10. Going into the locker room, all the momentum was with Denver, while the Bills were left to wonder what went wrong. Coming out of the half, the question was, could the Bills regroup and stop the bleeding? The answer, at first, was a resounding no. The Broncos' defense came out fired up, continuing to put immense pressure on Josh Allen. They got to him for a sack, and then another fumble. It was the third turnover of the game for Buffalo, and you could feel the game slipping away from them. Denver's offense took the field and once again turned the mistake into points, kicking a field goal to push their lead to 23-10. It felt like a commanding lead, and the Bills looked completely out of sorts. But you can never, ever count out a quarterback like Josh Allen. With his back against the wall, he started to play like the superstar we all know he is. He led a crucial drive, hitting Keon Coleman for a big gain, before finding the end zone for a touchdown. Suddenly, the score was 23-17, and the Buffalo sideline had life again. The game was far from over. The rest of the third quarter was a defensive struggle. Both quarterbacks threw interceptions, trading mistakes as the pressure mounted. The quarter ended with Denver punting the ball away, still clinging to that 6-point lead. As we headed into the fourth quarter, the tension was unbelievable. Every single play felt like it could decide the game. The Bills had the ball and were driving, looking to take their first lead since early in the game. They methodically moved down the field, but the Broncos' defense held strong in the red zone, forcing a field goal. The lead was cut to 23-20. It was a 3-point game with everything on the line. On their next possession, the Bills completed the comeback. Josh Allen led another masterful drive, picking apart the Denver secondary before hitting a receiver for a go-ahead touchdown. For the first time since the first quarter, Buffalo was on top, 27-23. The visiting sideline erupted, while a stunned silence fell over the home crowd. It looked like Denver's dream season might be coming to an end. But Nix wasn't done. The young quarterback showed incredible poise, taking the field with the season on the line. He led the Broncos on a clutch, must-have drive, culminating in a beautiful touchdown pass to Marvin Mims. Denver was back in front, 30-27. It was an incredible answer, a true testament to the team's fight. Now it was Josh Allen's turn to respond. With just a couple of minutes left on the clock, he got the ball back, needing only a field goal to tie. And he delivered. He made several key throws to get the Bills into field goal range. The stage was set for the kicker, Matt Prater, to be the hero, with a 50-yard attempt to send the game to overtime. The snap was good, the hold was good, and the kick was perfect. It sailed right through the uprights. We were tied at 30, and this instant classic was heading to overtime. Denver won the toss and got the ball first in OT. A touchdown would win it. But Buffalo's defense, which had been under pressure all night, stood tall. They forced a quick 3-and-out, and the Broncos had to punt. Now the ball was in Josh Allen's hands with a chance to win the game and send the Bills to the next round. This was it. The moment every quarterback dreams of. But the fairy tale ending wasn't meant to be for Buffalo. As Allen dropped back to pass, the Broncos' defense came up with the biggest play of the night. An interception. His second of the game, and by far the most costly. The stadium erupted as the Broncos' offense trotted back onto the field with a golden opportunity to win. With the ball in plus territory, Denver's strategy was clear. Run the ball, control the clock, and set up a game-winning field goal. The Bills' defense was on its heels, and a series of devastating penalties moved the Broncos even closer. A pass interference call, then an offsides penalty. It was a complete meltdown by Buffalo at the worst possible moment. The Broncos calmly ran the clock down, setting up a chip shot, 23-yard field goal for Will Lutz. As he lined up for the kick, the entire season came down to this one moment. He kicked it, and it was good. The Denver Broncos win 33-30, an unbelievable, dramatic victory that sends them to the next round of the playoffs. But as the celebration began, a somber reality set in. On the second-to-last play, a simple quarterback kneeled down. Bo Nix went down awkwardly. He was helped off the field, and the news came shortly after the game. A fractured ankle. His season is over. It is an absolutely devastating blow for a player who was the heart and soul of this team's victory. To lead his team to such a monumental win, only to have his season end on the very play designed to seal it, is just heartbreaking. So, the Broncos advance, but they do so with a heavy heart and a huge question mark at the quarterback position. In other playoff action from Saturday, it was a completely different story. The Seattle Seahawks absolutely dismantled the San Francisco 49ers in a 41-6 blowout. This game was over before it even really began. Rashid Shaheed took the opening kickoff 97 yards to the house for a touchdown, and Seattle never looked back. They dominated every single phase of the game from start to finish, advancing to the next round in convincing fashion. What a wild weekend of football. A last-second thriller and a complete blowout. It just goes to show that in the NFL playoffs anything can happen. Our thoughts are with Bo Nix for a speedy recovery. Congratulations to the Broncos and the Seahawks on advancing. Thanks so much for watching. What was your favorite moment from these games? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more NFL analysis and breakdowns, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We'll see you in the next one.